loving us. Thank you for your son that died in our place, that we could have life in you. In Jesus' name, amen. Race well, guys.
Thank you, Stoney, for that, and
Thank you,
definitely
buddy.
can't wait to see what tonight brings on, and we wish you the best of luck up here in the broadcast booth.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dylan.
You were Butch Mock, correct?
Yes, that's right.
10-4. All right, let's go to the number 75 of Stoney Benfield, as he was our in-race reporter, so, well, not in-race reporter, but nonetheless still a well, I have kind of botched that one. I didn't realize that I was live, but not live on YouTube. But tonight we are at Gateway here. Just had Stoney Benfield do the invocation for us. I'm sorry everybody has missed that. Maybe we can get him back on in here and say it one more time. But we're at Gateway for the National Sim Racing Retro Cup Series Gen 4's open setups. Gateway, 1.25 mile track. Track temperature is going to be a cool or blistering hot 92 degrees. Air temp will be 88 degrees with a 13 mile an hour wind. Not exactly sure of where it's coming out of, but nonetheless, still going to be a great time out there. Stoney Benfield, though, in that number 75, throwing in his first lap times here for qualifying. Once he gets done, we'll go ahead and bring Mr. Faster Pastor back in the broadcast booth to get that prayer in once again, as I did end up messing it up. So, going to have him come back up here. But Stoney Benfield's first lap time is going to be once he gets across the start-finish line, he's going to go top of the board with a 33.733. Robert Lawrence ran a 34.004. Then you got Andy Reeves back there with a 34.3. So definitely going to be something different here to watch. Stoney Benfield coming around to take his second and final lap of the race. Brian Wiggins and Robert Lawrence actually goes top of the boards with a 33.397. Seen those lap times in practice, figured out that Q lap. And Stoney Benfield goes just a little bit slower on that second lap. So it still is Robbie Lawrence up there in P number 1. Matty D. Clark in that number 31 out here getting ready to set down his first lap. Going to see what that number 31 RCR Monte Carlo can do here. Was fastest in practice, was fast last week. Had a few mishaps throughout the race last week, and inevitably hindered his chances at the win there last week. Johnny Taylor ended up picking up that win, but second lap, going to be a 33.534. That's going to be third quickest for Mr. Matty Clark. Going to go ahead and grab Mr. Faster Pastor back here. All right, Stoney, I kind of whiffed it, and I wasn't live. So everything we just said in your invocation here tonight was not on stream. So I do apologize for that, but you're going to have to give us one more hoorah before we let you get ready to go set in for the ride for 240 laps. It seems like Stoney not here as of right now. We will wait until he gets back up here and move him back up where he was, and hopefully he gets back before qualifying ends, so that way we can get that invocation in here tonight. Another new guy in that number 25, Adam Lang, sporting that HMS ride, making his first debut start here in the National Sim Racing Retro Cup Series in that number 25 G-Mac machine. Let's see what he can do here. Gets a little bit loose off the corner, but still able to hold on. And he will go 5th fastest with a 33.628. Daniel Molnix moving that number 2 machine all the way up to P number 3 as Johnny Taylor puts down a quick time, 33.354, by far the fastest lap we've seen in practice and in qualifying. Johnny Taylor showing he knows what this track can do. He's going to ride that inside. Maybe this second lap's a little bit quicker. We're going to see coming up off turn number 3 and 4, Johnny Taylor. Great exit off the corner. What will he get? Even faster, 33.192 for the number 3 of Johnny Taylor. 0.2 faster than second place. Johnny Taylor figured something out about that Q set as he is able to put it back on the pole. Gonna go ahead and try one more time for Mr. Stoney Benfield. Stoney, this is Dylan with Broadcast Booth. You got a copy? Believe he is not there still, so we're gonna go ahead and move him on back up. And I do apologize, everybody, for not being able to get that invocation in here tonight, as a lot of people were looking forward to it. I just happened to whiff that on the broadcast, so I do apologize. But 240 laps out here tonight for Gateway Unlimited Tires. All the fuel you'll need. 100% is the distance. Want to say thank you to everybody, everybody out there that follows and supports CRN as a whole, whether it be over on the Redline Racing, UCRL, Core Racing League, NSR, Shane Super Late Model Showdown, anything that CRN has to offer. I want to give a big shout out to everybody who has liked, shared, subscribed to CRN. I want to thank everybody for helping us get to our goal of 500 subscribers, as we have surpassed that and is now looking at our next goal. I want to give a big shout out to Carl and Jimmy for allowing me to showcase any league that comes on board for CRN. I want to give a big shout out to Michael Conti at EPI for the setups that he has provided for these gentlemen out here tonight. Open setups. Make sure you guys go over to raceepi.com and get your setup fix. Whether it's the trucks, dirt, A car, B car, anything you need, Race EPI has everything covered. As I run for EPI on the setup side, and it actually feels like a big old family. Everybody's there to help. It's actually one of the better setup shops that I've ran for in a very long time. But yeah, want to give another big shout out to Dubby Energy, proud sponsor of CRN. Make sure you guys use Core Dub for 10% off of your next purchase of Dubby Energy. That code is all capital letters, Core, COREDUB, for 10% off on your next order. A minute and a half left into qualifying here, and it looks like everybody's going to be able to put down a lap. Most of the drivers are going to take their times and not go around. But we have the 8 Ritz machine of Mark Sikochi out here. First lap's going to be a 34.044. He's going to drift way high into 1 and 2, get it back down, and see what his second lap will be here. You see that car a little bit yawed out all the way through. As he gets it all the way down to that inside, going to drift up off the bottom there ever so slightly, but get it back down. And his second lap is going to be a little bit quicker. It's going to be a 33.749, so it's going to be putting the 8 of Mark Sikochi P, number 8. Out here on the field. 30 seconds left into qualifying. Pretty much the field is set. Looks like about 19 drivers on tap here tonight. A lot of these drivers not going to be able to put in a qualifying time. Maybe you want to stay in the back, get everything worked out, but nonetheless, it's getting ready to go racing here. Going to go ahead and bring up the grid for everybody out here watching on a CRN. Starting on the pole position is going to be the number 3 of Johnny Taylor. Second will be Robert Lawrence. Third is going to be Daniel Molnix. Fourth will be Brian Wiggins. Running out your top 5 will be Matty D. Clark. Sixth will be Adam Lang. Seventh will be Stody Benfield. Eighth will be Mark Sikochi. Ninth, Brandon Bass. And running out your top 10 will be James Marcotti. 11th will be Andy Reeves. 12th will be Justin Cope. 13th, Jacob Kaplan. 14th, Dominic Bettini. 15th will be Patrick Gettner. 16th, Shane Wilden. 17th will be Lucas Nilges. 18th will be Austin Rhodes. And rounding out your 19-car field here tonight will be the number 1 of John Thompson. That's going to be your positions here out on the track. While these drivers are getting ready to get strapped in and get ready for this long race, we're going to go ahead and run it down the field with these beautiful paint schemes for everybody. Look at that number 3 Oreo Ritz machine of Johnny Taylor. Out on his outside is going to be that number 07 Jack Daniels of Robert Lawrence. Daniel Molnix and that number 2 Miller Lite. Rusty Wallace Throwbacks King. Brian Wiggins and that number 5, CarQuest Kellogg's Cheez-It G-Mac. Number 5, Matty D. Clark and that number 31, Singular. Adam Lang and that G-Mac number 25. Stody Benfield and the number 35, Remington Thunderbird. The 8 of Mark Sikochi and that Ritz Crackers DEI. Brandon Bass and that number 99, tied with Bleach. I said 99. The 32, excuse me. James Marcotti and that Peel Out, Reel In, Sit Go number 99. Justin Cope in that number 28, Haviline. Dominic Bettini in that number 49, AT&T. Andy Reeves in that number 24, Pepsi DuPont Chevrolet. Jacob Kaplan in that number 44, Hot Wheels machine. Shane Wilden in the number 43, Iconic 43, Oil Treatment Oil Filters. STP. Austin Rose in that number 10, Valvoline machine. Patrick Gettner in the American Spirit Motor Oil, number 45, Marathon. The number 14 of Lucas Nilges and then number 14, Wiley X swimwear or eyewear. John Thompson in that number 1, Pennzoil machine. Beautiful chromed out machinery. Barney has the green flag in the hand. Johnny Taylor, Robert Lawrence, starting P1 and P2. Can't go till Barney waves that green flag, and we are getting ready to go back racing. It's waving here at Gateway. Johnny Taylor's going to lead these guys into turn number 1 and 2, and it looks like he's going to have the advantage over Robert Lawrence, but Robert's going to take it wide there. way wide, all the way up by the wall, actually. He's going to lose another position to the number 2 of Daniel Molnix. Daniel Molnix moving up to P number 2, but so far not able to get there as Robert Lawrence making his car extremely wide on that outside, getting the pull and the draft that he needs from his teammate of the number 3 of Johnny Taylor. Matty D. Clark rounding out your top 4 there, right behind Daniel Molnix, but back in the back, it looked like somebody got a little bit loose. The 25 is going to go down to the inside of the number 8 of Mark Sikochi. He's going to take that position on away as we're going to go ahead and go back to the backstretch here and just look at all these cars whipping on by as going into turn number 3. You see them all kind of fading out, fanning out, doing whatever they need to do here. Coming off turn number 4, it's going to be Johnny Taylor with the lead here. Robert Lawrence, Daniel Molnix, and Matty D. Clark with Brian Wiggins rounding out your top 5. Looking on back here, it looks like Robert Lawrence still side by side with the number 2. The 2's going to have the advantage, but maybe not. Here comes Robert Lawrence, door to door, all the way down the backstretch into turn number 2 or 3. As it looked like we had a little bit of issues with the number 32. Going to go ahead and go back to a CRN replay. See it here, the 32 coming up off the corner, gets a little bit loose, going to come right up. Oh, yeah. Locks him on down, goes off the track, spins it out. Gets the car back going as we stay green. Robert Lawrence did get passed by Daniel Molnix, but now he's under fire from that number 31. Further in the back, it looks like Mark Sikochi under fire from Faster Pastor Stoney Benfield, ripping that outside. Seeing what he can do on that outside, but not able to get there as Mark Sikochi gets a little bit loose. Let's go to open up the door for Stoney. Move Stoney up to P at number 6 as he is trying to make his way all the way up towards the front as we have a little bit of trouble for the number 1 of John Thompson. Mark Sikochi losing 2 positions there, 1 to the number 75 and the 25. So Mark Sikochi back down to P number 8, right where he has started. Justin Cope, last week's runner-up to Johnny Taylor, out here in P number 11, just trying to survive the early stages of this race. Wants to be there when it counts, as these cars can pretty much take as much of a beating as they can. Andy Reeves in that number 24 machine up to position from where he has started. Great to see him going in the right direction. Dominic Bettini up 4 positions from where he has started in that number 49 machine. Back here, it looks like the 43 and the 10 of Austin Rhodes are going to be nose to tail. Austin Rhodes not able to get around the number 43, as it looks like maybe you got to have a good run to set up a pass here. As you see everybody using that inside lane to their advantage. Going to go ahead and move on down to a digger cam here. You see them all driving on by one, and everybody trying to fight for any type of advantage that they can get. Moving on back here with this battle. Adam Lang and Mark Sikochi gets a little bit loose coming off the corner, but it's going to be Brian Wiggins leading this second pack of 4, and Stoney Benfield trying to get up there to the number 5 machine. But look at the run the 25 had off the corner. 2 teammates battling, duking it out, as they're still trying to get their bearings underneath each other. 25 still trying to figure out how everybody runs. He's going to be way loose halfway through the corner. That's going to open the door for the number 75, but he got the power down. Stoney not able to make the pass, but he's in the wall. He's going to take it way wide. In the wall again goes the 25. The 25 is going to go from 6th all the way back to 8th. So move him back to that 8th position as Stoney and Mark Sikochi were able to get around him. And now Brian Wiggins has a mirror full of Stoney Benfield as Mark Sikochi Almost got to the rear end of the number 75, but able to keep it clean. The number 1 of John Thompson back here has a lot of right side damage. Not sure what happened to that number 1 machine, but nonetheless, he is still out there running and pulling down laps, as it looked like he may have gotten into somebody there. Looks like something happened to Robert Lawrence up here in the front. He was running around with the front leaders and lost a little bit of time. My guess would be he lost a little bit of momentum and got it a little bit too sideways for the car's liking there. But Daniel Moldix, sitting P number 2, keeping that number 3 honest here so far in the beginning of the race. And here we go. The next 3-car battle, we got it right here. The 5, the 75, the 8, and the 25. The 25 ended up making all that position, or all that time back on this lead pack here. Or the second pack, I should say, as we're going to ride on board with the number 25. See exactly what he's doing different from everybody else. And you see him, he's keeping it between those 2 black strips. Everybody else is trying to get down as close to that yellow or that white rumble strip as they can. And look how much he dives it into the corner. Almost gets in the back of Mark Saccoci. He's sacrificing his exit for a good entry there, as Mark Saccoci is able to pull away from him on the front straightaway. Adam Lang trying to do what he possibly can to get up there and battle for the top 5 position. So far it is Mark Saccoci trying to get around on that outside around the number 75 of the faster pastor. But so far able to do it. Look at the run that Mark Saccoci got on that outside. Moves Saccoci back up to P number 6, and he's going to go for another one. Oh, we have trouble. The 8 gets turned by the 75. Stoney Benfield in the 8, pulling out the first caution. We're going to go ahead and pull back a CRN replay there and see exactly what happened to the number 8 of Mark Saccoci. We were already on the thing, or that battle, but look how much deeper that Stoney's getting there. He tried to get on the brakes not to hit him. A little bit of net code didn't help that matter either. But look at this. Mark Saccoci realized he's getting ready to back it into the wall. Stomps on the gas, gives it a little bit of a kiss, and it keeps that back end from hitting the wall harder than what it did. Just a little bit of contact for the number 8 of Mark Saccoci, who smartly kept the brakes locked, didn't try to drive out of it, kept it up high, let everybody pass before he got back in it, and his race is still going to continue. First caution, 15 laps in, and these gentlemen were on a mission to try to make this race 100% green flag laps, but it's hard to do, especially in a harder car than normal, as it is all open setup, so it's going to run just a little bit different out here tonight. Looking down in the chat, we have Kip Cook saying, let's go number 75, faster passer Stoney Benfield. TS Richie 1, go number 75, faster pastor Zachary Woods. Dylan, hey Zach, how are you doing? Barbara Pinion, let's go faster pastor number 75. So Stoney Benfield out here has a lot of fan group out here. Just rooting him on in that number 75 machine. I want to say thanks to everybody who follows CRN, especially on Saturday nights. I want to give a big shout out to Morgan Shepard and Cindy, as they are more than likely tuning in if they're not out at Darlington having fun out there. Hopefully everything goes well for Morgan Shepherd as he fights his time with, I believe it was Parkinson's. So hopefully everything goes well in the Morgan Shepherd camp. And, I already know Stony Benfield is rooting for you. And so on and so forth, vice versa. 15 laps in, first caution involving the 8 and the 75. And that's going to send the number 75 to the back. Mark Sikochi going to be up here towards the front. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to CRN so you guys don't miss a single beat that whatever CRN has to offer. Make sure you guys share it around with your friends, your family, your dog, your cat, grandma, grandpa, everybody, work co-workers, anybody you can think of. Show them the support. Have them support you out here. If there's anybody that you guys are following and wanting to see who gets the win here tonight or a favorite paint scheme, make sure you guys put it in the YouTube chat. I'll look momentarily and see what everybody's vote is. With that being said, James Marcotti, he's going to have the loud button here as he did not elect to pit. He's going to stay out. Barney's got the green flag in his hand. Johnny Taylor on the outside. James Marcotti on the inside. Here we go back to racing. James Marcotti going to get a great jump on Johnny Taylor. Somebody down to the inside as it looked like it was the number 2 of Daniel Molnix, possibly. We're going to go ahead and rewind this just really quick. We need to watch it from the number 2's machine and to see what happened. Oh, yeah, that's exactly what happened. See it here. He's going to, oh, he shifted, and it just shipped right or left. Hard contact down to the inside wall for that number 2 machine. But nonetheless, back to green, and we have another yellow as we're going to go ahead and rewind this and see exactly what happened here as it happened in front. So we'll go ahead and try to catch up here, see what it was. Is maybe Mark Sikochi had a good angle of it. Oh, it was the 10 of Austin. Austin Rhodes looked like he just got a little bit loose, or maybe he got shipped into the corner here. Going to see what happened to the number 10 of Austin Rhodes. Down to the outside of James Marcotti. Oh, got to the gas just a little bit too quick. Locks him down to the inside, and kept it off the track for coming back up in front of everybody. Great driving, good awareness to lock them all down, get them back out here. As Austin Rhodes and that number 10 machine ended up getting a little bit of looseness coming out of the corner. Zach Woods, we have another Pastor iRacer who knows Morgan Shepherd. That's awesome. He's jealous. Stoney, you have another fan, another preacher out there in the chat. I know Zach Woods personally. Love it when he gives the invocations. Sorry about that. He fellow teammate of mine on Friday nights that I race with, and just keeps me calm during the races. It's always good to hear somebody else's voice. Sings Kumbaya to me, so definitely love having Zach Woods out there in the chat. And Zach Woods, definitely one of those guys that puts in the time when he needs to, getting faster with every race that he does. Same with Stony Benfield and all these drivers out here tonight. Justin Cope, another guy that got a top 3 position last week. Going to see if he can duplicate it here this week. As Johnny Taylor back up to the front in that number 3 machine. He's going to take the inside, leave Matty Clark to the outside. Brian Wiggins going to round out your top 3. Robert Lawrence in 4th. Dominic Bettini rounding out your top 5. Brandon Bass in that number 32. Shane Wielden in 7th. Mark Sikochi in 8th. Lucas Nilgis in 9th. Adam Lang rounding out your top 10. Justin Cope in 11th, Austin Rhodes in 12th, Jacob Kaplan in 13th, James Marcotti in 14th, Stoney Benfield rounding out your top 15. Patrick Gettner, P number 16, John Thompson in 17th, Andy Reeves in 18th, and rounding out your 19 car field will be the number 2 of Daniel Molnix. Johnny Taylor, Matty Clark, EPI RCR front row. Going to see who gets the better of the better here. As you see him going to come around turn number 3 and 4 by the 5-hour energy drink sign on the wall. Pace car diving down into pit lane. Johnny Taylor on the inside, Matty Clark on the outside. As we get ready to go back to racing here, Johnny Taylor's got the loud button. And we are back to racing. Everybody gets a great start that time. Nobody getting loose. And Johnny Taylor going to lead these guys into turn 1. Immediately jumps up to the outside lane to cut any run off that anybody could have had. Is looking at the backstretch camera angle here. And look at everybody fly on by. As everybody is still nose to nose pretty much. The top 10 or so have singled out to single car. As looking back deep in the pack, Lucas Nilgis looking down to the inside of the number 43 of Shane Wilden. He's got the 28 of Justin Cope following him down. Look at the dive by the 14 all the way down to that rumble strip. Keeping that right side on that black tarmac. He's going to slide up right in front of the 43. 43 is going to give him a bump. Oh, he's going to check up. And the 28 is going to get the brunt of it as the 43 ended up catching a lot of that. We're going to go ahead and go back to a CRN replay here just to show you guys exactly what happened. As we didn't get a really good camera angle here. Going to go ahead and, there we go. There's a better camera angle. As you see it here, the 14 slides up in front of the 43. Lifts up his rear tires. He checks up the 28. Nowhere to go. He's going to lift up the rear tires of the 43. He's going to go up into the outside wall and go all the way down through the racetrack. Going to slide, oh my goodness, right across people's noses, right in front. And we're going to keep it on a green. 14, Lucas Nilgis has the 44 on his rear bumper. As we are 25 laps in out of 240. Lucas has a little bit of right side damage on that quarter panel. Up here, though. Oh, look at that. Mr. Justin Cope did lose a lot of time as he's trying to get around a faster pastor number 75. He's going to take the outside. Stoney's got that inside covered, and here comes the number 2 of Daniel Molnix. After that restart that he had, he's going to be on the outside of the number 75. Seems like the outside's where you're wanting to be on the short run, but you want to be down on that inside when it comes to the long run. 3 wide coming off turn number 2, maybe no. Thought Daniel Molnix had his nose in there to make it 3 wide, but he thought better of it, backed out. And it's only going to be a matter of time, and there it goes. He's going to dive down to the inside. Justin Cope to the outside. Molnix to the middle, and Stoney Benfield going to fall into place. And now Daniel Molnix making his way back up through the pack. Brandon Bass right behind Mark Sakochi. Missed a couple weeks, but still back out here racing with these gentlemen once again. Riding, taking his time to get around Mark Sakochi as Adam Lang all over the back bumper of that number 5 machine. Teammate on teammate. Never want to see that crime happen, but it does. As Brian Wiggins gets a little bit loose coming out of turn number 4. Everybody has single filed it all the way out, taking their time to try and catch the trio pack of RCR cars as Johnny Taylor leading that pack. Matty Clark in second. Robert Lawrence trying to got your top three. As we're going to go ahead and ride along as I say that, and we are going to have a pass for P number 4. Adam Lake down to the inside. A big dive from the number 25 machine. He's going to be able to make a stick, and look at that. Brandon Bass tried to do the same thing. So it looks like the 5 is going to lose 3 spots in 2 corners, as he just missed his entry to turn number 3. So move Brian Wiggins down 3 positions, as he is still not able to get clear of Brandon Bass. Brandon Bass going to dive it in just a little bit deep, but so did Brian Wiggins. Brian Wiggins said, "Nah, man, I'm not losing another spot." Is Brandon Bass still not able to get clear of the number 5 machine here? Trying to play a little bit of side draft with whatever side draft you can get. Brandon Bass backs out of it. Going to eye up another run on that number 5 machine of Brian Wiggins. Getting all over the back bumper of Brian there, as he is not able to get that pass made. Looking back here, though, it is Daniel Molnix pulling ahead, trying to get back up there to the front. He's got Lucas Nogis right in front of him, and he's going to see what he can do to get through this pack. With that being said, 32 laps in out of 240. I think right now would be the perfect time to turn the mics down, turn the engines up, and let you guys get a little bit of, you love to hear it. As we are back and we are under caution, we're going to go ahead and rewind to that, as we were actually on it while it happened, as it was the 10 and the 49 getting together. We're going to go ahead and play it from the 49's perspective here. Get the chase cam so we can actually see a really good view of this and see what happened to the number 49. He's going to dive it in. Missed the entry there. He's going to slide up. He's got nowhere to go. He doesn't want to lock him up, because once you lock him up, you're just going to tag the person either way you look at it. The 10's going to be able to roll away. The 49, I believe he's going to be able to roll away. He's got the wheel locked to the right to get that thing squared away, and he does. What a save by the number 49 of Dominic Bettini. And that will bring out our second caution of the night. give these guys a little bit you love to hear, and we'll be right back. as we are back here on the live scene. And yeah, I had my mic muted for the longest time. And I thought you guys could have heard me the whole time, but you didn't. But it looks like just before it switched on over, Brian Wiggins going down into pit lane has to take the access road all the way around, as green flag pit stops are beginning this time around. Adam Lang leading the charge up here in P at number 6. Has Tony Benfield and the number 99 of James Marcotti right behind them, but it is still Johnny Taylor and Daniel Molnix in P1 and P2, with Mark Sikochi in 3rd, Jacob Kaplan in the number 44 Hot Wheels machine in 4th, and Matty Clark rounding out your top 5. Barry Kistler out there in the chat saying, going with Jay Kaplan tonight, good luck drivers. So Barry Kistler out there has his driver for tonight, and that's going to be Jacob Kaplan. Go ahead and zoom on over here to this number 44 Hot Wheels machine as he is picked for tonight's race win. Got a gangle of cars back here with the 10 of Austin Rhodes. Right behind them is Robert Lawrence, Shane Wheeldon. Austin Rhodes gets a little bit loose coming out of the corner. Going to be able to keep it straight though. Shane Wheeldon down to the inside of Robert Lawrence. He's going to be able to get around him. Brandon Bass into pit lane this time by. Johnny Taylor with a gigantic lead. 2.7 seconds over Daniel Molnix. He's getting ready to bring his number 3 Chevy Monte Carlo into pit lane, possibly in 1 to 2 more laps, maybe give or take. And pit stops under green have been under fire as of late. Johnny Taylor keeping that number 3 machine out there 1 more lap. Daniel Molnix keeping his car out, as well as Robbie Lawrence up here not giving up. He's down to the inside of the number 10. Robbie Lawrence having a little bit of car issues on that number 07. Getting a little bit of damage, but still keeping it clean and green. 76 laps in out of 240. Just going to pull this away from the iRace or the racing as of right now, but give you guys a look at the St. Louis Arc right there. Downtown. I see whenever I go down to Missouri, I always end up, St. Louis. I go there all the time. Get to see it. Have family down in that part of the region, so get to go down there and see the Mississippi River, which is literally right behind the St. Louis Arch. Just a nice, cool little gesture that iRacing was able to throw in there. Keep the scenery relatively real. While these 3 drivers are battling, and here comes Brian Wiggins down to the inside. Going to be able to get around Robbie Lawrence. Going to get around the number 10. Fresher tires do make a difference. But while that's happening, the 3 of Johnny Taylor is right behind this 4-car breakaway. not able to pull away as of yet, because Daniel Molnix has tracked down Johnny Taylor to under 2 seconds now. It's at 1.01. So Daniel Molnix running faster lap times than Johnny Taylor. But Johnny Taylor has to work his way strategically all the way in and through the lapped traffic, where Daniel Molnix has a little bit of clean air there. He's going to get around his teammate of Robbie Lawrence. And I believe this is where we're going to see a 35.5 possibly from Johnny Taylor. Oh, Robert Lawrence gets low. Oh, there's going to be a caution. Robert Lawrence gets loose in front of Daniel Molnix. Daniel Molnix nowhere to go. And, we're going to go ahead and ride on board with Daniel Molnix, as that did involve him. And we're going to go with the chase. We're actually going to go with the nose cam here. Go ahead, slow it on down so everybody gets to see exactly what happened. You see here, coming up off the corner, Robert Lawrence going to get way loose, side to side he goes. Daniel Molnix already committed to that outside. Robbie trying to get down to the inside, not able to do so. You're going to see Robbie Lawrence down to the inside. Pow! To the inside wall. And that is going to bring out another caution. So, no green flag pit stops for those drivers. Is Daniel Molnix and Johnny Taylor both down pit lane? Daniel Molnix be able to come on out here. Mark Sakochi will inherit the lead here, as Mark Sakochi going to go down pit lane. There's going to be Robert Lawrence getting his lap back here, as he's going to keep that number 07 out there one more lap. So Robbie Lawrence going to keep it on out. Johnny Taylor will be your race leader. I believe everybody's going to be able to get around the pace car this time by. So everybody's going to be back on the lead lap. Robert Lawrence, Brandon Bass, and Brian Wiggins going to be able to be back on the lead lap. So with that being said, now it's good for Robert Lawrence. He's going to need a quick hurry-up caution here to get new tires and to get some of that damage repaired on that number 07 machine. Robert Lawrence, another RCR / EPI driver. As we're going to go ahead and back up here. The 3 and the 2, side by side for the restart. Check and see if Barney the Flagman's still alive and awake. He is. Pace car. Hard left in the pit lane. Looks like the 10's going to have to let everybody on by him. And we are back to racing here at Gateway. A big, nice jump by Johnny Taylor to get up there. Oh, look at that. Brandon Bass coming all the way up to the outside. Almost gets into the side of the number 5 machine of Brian Wiggins, trying to get his way back up there. But look at James Marcotti trying to work that outside on the 43. He's going to have the run. Here comes the 32. 32.99 on the outside, 43 down on the inside. Who's going to make the pass stick? It's going to be the 32 on the outside. Going to drift a little bit wide. The 43 is going to lift a little bit more just to help him out. Make that pass there for the 32. The one of John Thompson went off track. No caution for that momentarily. Jacob Kaplan under fire from the number 75. But it's going to be Daniel Molnix and Johnny Taylor. Johnny Taylor has pulled out to a 0.6 of a second gap as James Marcotti gets a little bit loose. And we have a crash, but everybody's going to keep it calm. We're going to go ahead and look and see what happened to that number 99. Gets a little way loose off the racetrack, down to the inside into the grass, locks him up. Turns it. Oh, gets it. Traction and just parks it right there in the middle of the track. Gets it out of the racing line, down to the inside, and we're going to keep it green. Looking back through the pack, 31 on the outside of the 75. Going to dive it hard into turn number 3. He's going to be able to make the pass, and here comes Adam Lang, side of draft, pinching that 75 down, as the 75 is going to be able to have the momentum coming off the corner. .25 able to make that pass. As looking back here with the number 45, he was able to get around the number 43 nice and smoothly, as he is going to try to make his way up through the field. But it's going to be the 44 of Jacob Kaplan rounding out that top 3 as of right now. But he's got a hard charging number 31 of Matty Clark closing in behind him. Matty Clark down to the inside. Jacob Kaplan going to do the same. Matty's going to have a better exit off the corner. Going to be side by side down the front stretch. Lap 90 out of 240. Matty Clark down to the inside. Going to trade a little bit of paint there. Extremely close quarters racing. Matty Clark gets a little bit loose. Going to lose all that time. And now he's going to be side by side with the 25. 25 on the outside, going to dive it in a little bit deeper and harder than Matty Clark did. Matty Clark had to back out of it just a little bit, got a little bit tight. He's going to wrap that bottom super well. Gets a little bit loose, still going to be side by side going down the front stretch. Matty Clark lost that position to Adam Lang, as Jacob Kaplan able to keep that car in P number 3. Looking on board here, the 25 all over that rear bumper of Jacob Kaplan. Going to go ahead and look at the rear view of the number 44. Just to show you what he's seeing, and then look at that, just a little bit of a mess up in turn number 1 and 2, and that's going to bring the 25 right to that back bumper. Gets it slowed on back down, and look at that. That 25 is using that outside to his advantage. Cuts it right back down, right up on the back bumper of the number 44. Look how close he is. Can't even see the front hood emblem there. Now it's going to come down to who gets a better turn 1 and 2. As that 25 is looking for it, he's going to dive low. Doesn't get the run that he wanted there. Still going to settle back in there for P number 4. A little bit of a harder dive from the number 25. There he goes, right up on that back bumper. Can't see the hood emblem. 25, there he is. Almost gets to the rear of the number 44. We're going to watch from the 25's hood camera here as Austin Rhodes has spun it on around. Going to keep it green as the 25 gets a hellacious run all the way in and through. Oh, slid the tires ever so slightly. Look at that, right up on the back bumper yet again of the number 44. 44 gets a little bit loose. This could be the 25's opportunity. Going to look low. A little bit of a dive there. Going to move the 44 up the track. 44 is going to run the outside, going to be able to keep P3. Want to give another big shout out to Dustin Hall. If you guys tuned in last night to Sim Racing Media, gave his little nephew a shout out as he lost his battle to cancer. Can't remember the name of it, but if you guys ever do end up seeing any EPI guy in a stream or anything, just put hashtag Jimmy Strong. It's been 6 months since little Jimmy was sent home to be with the good Lord and Savior. And I made the Indianapolis race last night in honor of him. So Dustin Hall came out and ran that race with everybody, and glad to see Dustin Hall getting the win last night in there. And just the interview gave me chills and goosebumps. So if you guys haven't seen that yet, just look up Sim Racing Media, Jimmy Strong at Indianapolis. An absolute blast of a race. Glad I could have Dustin Hall in there with us running, and glad it was for a good cause. Back to the racing here as the 25 lost a little bit of time on the number 44, but nonetheless right back up on the back bumper. And he's going to get a good exit. Look at that exit all the way up on the back bumper. Had to get out of it just so he didn't run over the back of the 44. And he's going to lose a little bit of time, but it's still early. Coming to 140 laps to go here tonight at Gateway. Looking out there, Margie Murphy. Let's go, Jacob Kaplan. Barry Kistler doing the same thing for Mr. Jacob Kaplan. Jacob is sitting P3 as of right now. He's going to take it way wide. Here comes the run from the 25. He's got to back out of it as he got a little bit tight underneath. As he is going to fall back just a little bit, but his corner to exit speed is just a little bit better than the 44. As the 25 gets a little bit loose, Matty Clark going to be able to get around the number 25 there. And now Matty Clark up to P number 4. While we were watching that, look at that. Mark Sikochi back up here to P number 6, getting ready to make a run on P number 5 to take away that top 5 spot. AJ Connors. That wheel spin, baby, looks like a fun series. It actually is, buddy. It complete open setups. Matty Clark getting loose, spinning out. And that's going to bring out a caution on the front straightaway for the number 31. Is we're going to go ahead and go back to a quick CRN replay and see what happened to the number 31 machine here tonight. As he's going to come up off the corner, go ahead and get it slowed down for everybody out here. Gets a little bit loose. I thought he had it saved. Turns it back to the right. Has it locked to the left. Locks him down. Gets the car stopped. I don't think he hit the inside wall. Maybe he did. But if those tires are not flat spotted, I don't know what is. Oh, he tagged the wall just a little bit. But nonetheless, not a bad wreck as it is. So Matty Clark did bring out that caution. See what he does here. He's going to throw it in reverse. Get it turned around. Do a nice little 20-point turn to get that car turned around without causing any other damage to any other driver. Everybody in pit lane. It looks like Brian Wiggins stayed out. So Brian Wiggins will be your race leader here tonight, as he is back up here to the race lead. And Brian Wiggins going to go into pit lane. So let's go to inherit the lead on over to Johnny J. Taylor. Back to the front he goes. $136 laps to go here tonight. So it's going to be Johnny Taylor, Daniel Molnix again on your front row. Jacob Kaplan and Mark Sikochi. And then Adam Lang rounding out your top five. Sixth will be Stoney Benfield. Seventh, Patrick Gentner. 8th is going to be Matty Clark. 9th, Shane Wielden. 10th will be Dominic Bettini. 11th will be Brian Wiggins. 12th, Brandon Bass. 13th, Robert Lawrence. 14th will be Lucas Nilges. 15th, Austin Rhodes. 16th will be James Marcotti. 17th, John Thompson. 18th, Justin Cope. Running out your 19 car field will be Andy Reeves. With that being said, pace car back into the pit stands. Daniel Monix trying to pinch Johnny down to that inside, but we're back to racing here tonight as Johnny Taylor gets another great restart on that inside. He's going to be able to pull the 2 of Daniel Monix going down into turn number 1. Side by side towards the back, it's going to be the 31, the 50, the 45, and the 32. As Brandon Bass not battling for a position. The 45 is just going to let the 31 and the 32 on by. As the 31 trying to make up for all that lost time that he has lost. Still out front is going to be Johnny Taylor and the number 3 machine, Daniel Monix, P number 2. And right in front of Matty Clark is going to be the 75. And then Adam Lang holding on strong in P number 4, getting all the way up to that back bumper of the 44, diving it in there. All over that back bumper, trying to take away P number 3. Good, strong showing for that number 25 machine as the 8 of Mark Sakochi gets a little bit loose coming off the corner exit. Jacob Kaplan keeping that P3 alive so far. Is it back here? Shane Wielden able to hold off Dominic Bettini in that number 49 machine. Let Brian Wiggins go on by. And here comes an absolute run by the number 49 down to the inside. He's going to not make the pass. The 49 actually lifted a little bit earlier. Doesn't want to go through turn 1 and 2 side by side. As Shane Wielden able to hold off the challenge from the 49, but there's the dive from the 49 all the way down to the inside. Shane's going to lift just a little bit. The 49 is going to slide up. The 49 is going to be able to take that position away, so move Shane back to P number 11 and move Dominic Bettini up to P10. Patrick Gittner doing what he can to survive P number 8. Adam Lang all over the back bumper of that number 8 machine as Mark Sakochi was able to get by him. And here comes Matty Clark. Matty Clark, after that spin, had to work his way back up through the field and has done so far. Adam Lang, a little bit loose off corner exit. Matty Clark to the inside. Adam Lang just lets him go. Doesn't want to battle too hard. Wants to save as much tire as he possibly can. As we have closed in just about on this halfway point. Lap 120 will be the halfway point of this race here tonight. As the 44 of Jacob Kaplan holding on to that P3, but he's got a lot of fast guys behind him. But he's doing what he needs to do to keep everybody in check behind that number 44. Looking at the rear view, you see it now. The lights are on at the racetrack. Mark Sikochi looking down to the inside. Jacob Kaplan blocks the run. Jacob Kaplan trying to hold on, but he's got Mark Sikochi with a faster car so far. Looking to the inside. Do we see a dive? Yes, we do. Mark Sikochi down to the inside of Jacob Kaplan. Jacob Kaplan going to use that outside to his advantage. Now Matty Clark and Mark Sikochi going to be side by side coming off the corner. Mark Sikochi gets a little bit loose. Is it going to be a 2-for-1? Can the 25 get there? And he is not able to do so just yet, but that's going to open up a little bit of a gap for the number 44 as these two do battle behind him. 31 and 8 side by side as Brian Wiggins down to the inside wall. Hits it a ton. Looking behind Jacob Kaplan, it's going to be Matty Clark getting into the side of Mark Sikochi. He's going to be able to hold off the late run charge from Mark Sikochi, and now the 25 able to get around Mark Sikochi. The 25 is going to look to make a run on Matty Clark and that number 31. Down to the inside goes the 25. Not able to get there so far, but still going to be right up on the back bumper of Matty Clark as Mark Sikochi has fallen off the pace just a little bit as the 25 goes down to the inside. Matty Clark blocks the run. All over those rumble strips going down into turn number 3 and 4. Off the corner, Matty D. Clark holds strong in P number 4. Matty Clark able to hold off the challenge from the number 25. Look back here on the number 25's bumper. As the 25 able to pull away from the number 8 so far. As we're going to go ahead and look on the nose of the 25 as the 31 has caught the number 44. And Matty Clark going to try to do some work to get around the number 44, Jacob Kaplan. While we've been focusing on this battle, as we got a pass for P number 3, side by side, Matty Clark and Jacob Kaplan. Matty to the inside, Kaplan to the out. Matty Clark not going to be able to make the pass. But while we're watching this, go on up here to our battle for the lead. The 2 and 3. About 2 car lengths separate them. As Johnny Taylor still with the race lead, but it's going to be Jacob Kaplan. Not sure what happened to Matty Clark. There he is. They were side by side, but Matty Clark lost a little bit of ground there. As he's got a fast and hungry number 25 on his rear. Looks like 16 people still out there on the track doing a little bit of running around of this mini Darlington. And I wonder, I just have to wonder, When will somebody get ballsy? Oh, look at the 25. Talking about ballsy. Getting right up on the back bumper of the number 25. 31 gets a little bit loose. 25 loose as well. Matty able to hold it that time. But going down the backstretch, that wall indents. Wonder who's going to try to trick somebody to follow him up there with the draft. Matty gets a little bit tight. And he's going to have Mark Sikochi try to trick somebody to go up there with a draft and then turn down real quick and have that guy behind him hit that gap in the wall there. I've seen it happen. It does happen. I've done it to a few people in the next gen, thinking that I could get away with it, and yeah, well, I've hit that wall, so it's definitely possible. As Matty Clark still under fire from that number 8 of Mark Sikochi with just under halfway to go. Everybody's single file once again. And while they do that, we're going to go ahead and go back to a quick. You love to hear it. And we'll be... Oh, we have a caution as I say that. And we're going to go ahead and go back to a CRN replay. We're going to see it here. See what happened. Was it? Yeah, I don't know why I went to that one. There we go. Looks like the 25 just misjudged the corner there. Has to get out of the throttle. Maybe he's a little bit loose. Yeah, he's a little bit loose. Matty Clark, nowhere to go. Already coming up. Tags the 25. Sends him on down to the inside. Locks him up really quick. But now that you're in grass, good luck. He's going to back it into that inside wall. Doesn't hit it a lot, so... We're actually going to watch it at full speed here and see just how bad or how hard he hit that inside wall. All the way around, gets it slowed down. Oh yeah, didn't really hit that wall a lot. Definitely has a little bit of rear damage on that car. Everybody in the pit lane this time by. While these drivers are getting their pit stops in, we're going to go ahead and move it on up to the race leader. That's going to be Johnny Taylor. I'm going to go ahead and mute the mics, and I will be right back. Back to green we went. And as quick as we went green is as quick as we're back to the yellow flag. As it was Daniel Monix with the race lead. Got a little bit loose coming out of turn number 2. And lost his lead. It went back to P number 3. But we're going to go ahead and go back to the crash. See what happened. That involved the number 31. Going to go ahead and slow it on down here. See what happened to that number 31 of Matty D. Clark. As it looks like he's running that inside lane to a T. See what happened here. It looks like, oh, just got too much down on that inside. Going to go ahead and lock him on up. Does he hit the inside wall? He does not. I don't think. Does he? No, he does not. So, Matty Clark, very fortunate here tonight. Not a lot of damage on that number 31 to get him slowed back down. Hand the lead back on over to Mr. Johnny Taylor, as he is your race leader once again. Johnny Taylor having an absolute phenomenal race here again tonight. Daniel Monix is sitting at P number 2, or 3, excuse me, as Jacob Kaplan is sitting P number 3. Faster up there to P number 4. That's going to be Stoney Benfield in that number 75. Brian Wiggins back on the lead lap, coming back to P number 5. Brandon Bass to top 6. After being 1 lap down as well. Mark Scocci in 7th. Dominic Bettini in 8th. Matty D. Clark in 9th. Adam Lang in P number 10. 11th will be Patrick Gentner. 12th will be Shane Wilden. And that will be the cars on the lead lap. So 12 cars on the lead lap out of a 19. So not too bad. As everybody is back out there on the racetrack. Johnny Taylor in that number 3 Oreo Ritz machine going to be the leader. Going to lead the 44 back to green flag, as I believe this time by the pace car lights are going to go off on that pace car. Going to go ahead and ride on board with the number 3 here. See exactly if the pace car, you can't really tell. Let's go on over here to Jacob Kaplan, as the lights are still on that pace car. So one more time around for these gentlemen, and we'll be going back to green. Jacob Kaplan going to lead that outside charge here. Pace lights off this time, as we're going to go back green. Closing in on 100 laps to go here tonight. Who you guys got? I know a lot of these people out here are voting for Faster Pastor, as he brought in a lot of these people. So I want to thank you all for tuning in here tonight, watching everybody go around and round in a circle at Gateway. Johnny Taylor's been up front most of the night. Going to try to capitalize on win number 4, I do believe. Won the Daytona 500. Won the Rock. won last week at Myrtle Beach. The only other winner is going to be the 31 of Maddie Clark. So it's been RCR dominating the first half of the season. Barney's got the green flag. Johnny Taylor, Jacob Kaplan, your front row. Once again, we are back to racing here tonight at Gateway. Johnny Taylor gets a great launch on that inside lane. Going to go straight up to the top. And look at the number 2 of Daniel Molnix. Down to the inside to take away P number 2 from Jacob Kaplan. And behind them, oh, there's a big wreck. Brian Wiggins up and over in the air. And we have a lot to go through here, as we're going to pause this right quick, get a chopper camera here, and see just what happened going through this corner. I'm going to go ahead and slow it on down, as I believe it started with the 5, maybe? I just happened to see the 5 get whipped around like a tilt-a-whirl. Oh, he gets tied to 25. Teammate on teammate action. Gets hit by the 31, or the 25, comes right back down. Maddie gets by the 45. Gets the 5 there. The 32 has to take evasive action. I'm going to go ahead and rewind it here just a little bit. Slow it on down, so that way we can see exactly what happened, who all got involved. Maddie Clark getting around that scot-free. The 45, nowhere to go, already committed. Brian up in the air. 32, down to the grass. 43, lifting to get out of there unscathed. And we're back under caution here once again. After that big caution, Brian Wiggins going to take that car into pit lane and going to service that car, as that had a lot of damage on that number 5 machine. It looks like Brandon Bass and Dominic Bettini going to take their 2 rides into pit lane to top off on a fuel. But it looks like the 28, the 45, the 25, and the 5 are going to be in the pit lane to get all the damage fixed on their race cars. With that being said, though, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the front row. It's going to be Johnny Taylor in that number 3 machine, and Mark Sakochi in the number 8. Right behind them is going to be Maddie D. Clark in that number 34, or 31, excuse me. And then you got Jacob Kaplan in that number 44, Hot Wheels number Petty Enterprise Scheme. That's going to be Jacob Kaplan. Get a nice looking view there of that number 44 for everybody out there that likes the 44. As they are back to Barry Kistler, want to give a big shout out to you, good sir, as you've been following along CRN since we have started. So thank you for that. Want to give a big shout out to everybody that has liked, shared, subscribed to CRN, as every week there's something different to go on here tonight, or on a CRN. Without all of you, ladies and gentlemen, none of this would be possible to showcase what we like to do in our free time when we get home from our 9-to-5 jobs and get to hang out with everybody in Discord and during a race. Johnny Taylor, Mark Sakochi. Two of the oldest friends out here. Known each other since NASCAR 15 on the PS3 days. I used to run with them as well. So me, Mark Sakochi, and Johnny Taylor, along with Brian Wiggins, all out there on PS4 or PS3, running NASCAR 15 together. So we've all known each other for quite some time. But they're going to be on the front row. The 8 and the 3, father-son duo. Does Johnny Taylor have better than the son? No pun intended. No, they're not related. Just the car numbers. But Barney's got the green flag in the hand. First roundup for the 8 and the 3. Johnny Taylor with a great restart. Look at the gap between him and Mark Sakochi as they're going to dive it down into turn number 1 and 2. And here comes Daniel Molnix down to the inside. Jacob Kaplan thought about making it 3 wide. Didn't do it that time as he's going to be right behind all of this. And Jacob Kaplan trying to do what he can. Slides up in front of Brandon Bass. Brandon Bass is going to take it down to the inside. Maneuver on the 44. 44 is going to drop back one more spot. Daniel Molnix up to P number 3, taking away that final podium spot. Matty Clark moving back up here to P number 2. Mark Sakochi sitting P number 4, but he's got a little hard charging Brandon Bass sitting right behind him. Shane Wilden following behind the number 49 of Dominic Bettini is Shane Wilden. Try to do what he can, and here comes the late dive from the 49 down to the inside of Faster Pastor. Almost gets into the rear of the 75. That was a close call for him, as Dominic's going to be under fire from the number 43 machine this time by. Able to get it all cleared out, and here comes the 5 and the 25. Able to get that damage repaired and back out here on the racetrack. The 07, Robert Lawrence, back out here on track. Got that car completely fixed. Got a little bit of left rear damage there, but it's okay. Gets a little bit loose as I start talking about him, so we're going to go up to watch somebody else now. Jacob Kaplan ended up getting passed by Brandon Bass, not able to get that speed, that spot back. But Matty Clark under fire from Daniel Molnix. Daniel Molnix going to be able to take away P number 2 from Matty Clark. Matty Clark's going to let him have it, save his tire. They got to pit 2 more times. Maybe. They can go about 46 laps, and we're just under 100. So 96 laps to go. Cut it in half. 43 laps each. You can make it on 2 more stops. Granted, caution comes out. That's going to play another factor. But everybody single file all the way through the pack. All you see is the Darlington Snake. Or, well, I just call this place Darlington. The Gateway Snake, I should say, is Robert Lawrence. Trying to make a move on that number 43 to get one of those laps back. But not able to do so just yet. Oh, the 45 having a little bit of problem. We're going to go ahead and go back to a quick CRN replay as we're still on a green. See what happened to Mr. Patrick Gettner. 99 goes way wide. Oh, doors the living heck out of that number 45. 45 is going to back it into the wall, and I'm surprised that did not throw a caution as the 99 got loose and hit the 45. Misfortune for that 45 machine. 07 going to dive it down in front of Shane Wilden. Shane Wilden going to be tight on his door. Almost right back down in front of that 25 machine. Able to keep it going. Brandon Bass up here, P number 5. Trying to track down that number 8 machine of Mark Sakochi. Still not able to get the run that he needs. As he's sitting there waiting patiently to try and pass the number 8. Seems like the 32 can get right up on that back bumper, but not able to make the passes. Looks like the 8's going to be able to pull him down the backstretch there. And Brandon Bass playing the long game here, as Daniel Molnix has pulled away, absolutely pulled away from Matty Clark, and he's running faster lap times than Johnny Taylor, the leader. 34.57 to 34.405. Daniel Molnix, a 10th quicker than Johnny Taylor. And look how deep he's diving it in there. He wants to get that race lead. He wants to be another winner here, break up that RCR combo that has just absolutely won all 4 of the first 5 races here this season. 34.712, 34.516. He's there underneath the 3. He's going to go for the lead. The 2 down to the inside, the 3 on the outside. Going to be a little bit of a side draft here. The 2 trying to do what he possibly can to get down underneath Johnny Taylor. He's going to dive it in turn number 2, or turn number 3. Move the 2 to the lead. For the first time here tonight, we've seen somebody pass Johnny Taylor under green flag conditions. The 2 takes the lead and leads the first lap under green flag conditions from Johnny Taylor. You can see it there, 34.881 to a 35.2. Daniel Molnix has gotten that car where he needs it to be, as Johnny Taylor gets a little bit loose coming out of the corner. With them two battling side by side, that has allowed Matty D. Clark to catch up just a little bit, as Daniel Molnix trying to put a gap on second place, and so far starting to do so. Back in the back though, 3-car battle. 44 down to the inside of, oh yeah, big dive from the number 44. Going to slide up just a little bit, going to be clear. Here comes Stoney. Give a little bit 2-for-1 special on the number 32. Stoney's going to be stuck down to that inside, as Brandon Bass is not going to give an inch to get that position, as he's going to let the, well, I just lied. The Brandon Bass let the 75 by, so there's 2 positions lost for that number 32 machine. Your race leader right now is Daniel Molnix, Johnny Taylor, and P2, Matty Clark rounding out your top 3. Brandon Bass back here trying to make something happen. As Jacob Kaplan is starting to reel in that number 8 machine of Mark Sakochi. He is putting it to the absolute limit right now. And right now, with it being this long into the race, I'd say right now, since you got to pit, do what you possibly can. See what you can do by pushing it as hard as you possibly can. These drivers not going to give any inches here tonight. Jacob Kaplan trying to cap off another top 5 race here at Gateway. The leaders have caught lap traffic. They have caught the number 99. Where does the 99 go? The 99 is going to go dive down to the inside, stay out of the way, and possibly let up early, and he does, But Daniel Molnick's caught him at the wrong part of the track. He's going to have to run the outside, and he does. He's going to be able to get around the number 99 ever so quick. Johnny Taylor walls it. Comes up off the corner, gets it a little bit too spicy. Is Matty Clark going to take over P number 2? Johnny Taylor, hard on the outside wall. Jacob Kaplan, able to make the pass on Mark Sikochi for P number 4. So Jacob Kaplan trying to do what he can to get up there towards the front. Looks like Johnny Taylor has overdriven that car to the point where now he's getting extremely loose off corner exit. Stoney Benfield all over the back bumper of the number 8 machine. Seen it earlier, these two getting together earlier in the race. Mark Sikochi not hitting that outside wall. And then now Mark Sikochi under fire from faster passer Stoney Benfield. Jacob Kaplan loves it. He says, come on, keep on battling. The more you battle, the more I pull away. With that being said, Daniel Molnick has opened up a 1.6 second gap over second place of Matty Clark. Trying to cap off a 5 winless race streak. Matty Clark getting loose out of the corner. Single file all the way through the field. As well, everybody is starting to get fanned out. We're going to go ahead and Mark Sikochi on the outside. Stoney Benfield down on the inside. Mark Sikochi gets a little bit loose. It's going to give the run to the 75. Move the 75 up to P number 5. Down to the inside goes the 75. Mark Sikochi all over that rear bumper. Maybe a little bit of payback from earlier. Or maybe they let bygones be bygones. Mark Sikochi just going to let Stoney Benfield go. But with that being said, lap 161 out of 240. We're going to go ahead and mute the mics, turn the engines up, and we'll be right back with another You'll Love to Hear It. as we are back here with more of the racing, as Johnny Taylor ended up dropping down, and he's going to go into pit lane. Jacob Kaplan is going to be P number 2, and slowly starting to catch up to our race leader here of, it looks like Daniel Molnix. Is Daniel Molnix into pit lane? And that's going to give the race lead over to Jacob Kaplan, leading his first laps of this race. Jacob Kaplan pulling the long game here. He's going to stay out a couple extra laps as Matty Clark getting ready to go a lap down by Daniel Molnick. Or actually, no. Matty Clark was able to pass the 44. Same with Daniel Molnix. And here comes the number 3 of Johnny Taylor. Only thing that Johnny Taylor does not want to see is a caution here, as he's going to go down to the inside of the number 3, or of the 44, and now Johnny Taylor's back on the lead lap. 32 of Brandon Bass is going to be in the pit lane this time by, as I believe Jacob Kaplan may be coming down pretty soon, as you see there off in the distance. That next car right behind Jacob Kaplan is the 75 of Stony Benfield. Jacob Kaplan out here leading the first laps that he's ran all night and still holding to that lead. 2.4 second gap between the race leader and P number 2. As we look at the gearbox, you see the difference there. Jacob Kaplan doing what he can to keep that number 44 out front. 178 laps out of 240. As it looked like Jacob Kaplan got a little bit loose coming out of the turn number 2. Had to back out of the throttle. Gonna start running the outside. Can't really get it down to the inside, as that gap between him and Stony Benfield is starting to open up just a little bit, as we have a bunch of cars up here. Matty Clark, Johnny Taylor, Daniel Molnix, Patrick Gantner, and the 5 of Brian Wiggins. .44 Jacob Kaplan still out there running some laps. Adam Lang just got passed by James Marcotti and Mark Sakauchi. As the 43 has the 49 all over his rear bumper. Not for position, but the 43, or the 49, doing what he can to try to get around the number 43. He's going to run it way wide. Not to get into the wall coming off. Almost did, but was able to back off of it. The 25, he's in the pit lane this time by. So now with the 25 in the pit lane, they can go another 46 laps. And at 46, looking almost to the end of it. One more pit stop for these drivers. And I think that 44 may be doing the same. No, he's going to stay out. He's going to try to make it to at least lap 200 if he can. If he makes it on lap 200, it will be his final pit stop. 182 laps down. Jacob Kaplan still staying out there. Is Shane Wilden going to inherit P number 3, but is 17 seconds back from the race leaders here as Mark Sikochi has caught the number 75 of Stoney Benfield. Mark Sikochi going to make quick work out the 75. 75 is going to go down to the inside. Mark Sikochi on fresher tires, going to have the run off. Stoney going to stay up high, let Mark Sikochi on by. And now Mark Sikochi trying to get his lap back. One more car to get around and he'll be able to get that lap back from the race leader. Looking back here, though, Johnny Taylor sitting behind Matty Clark and Daniel Molnix, the 3, down to the inside of Matty Clark. Teammates side by side. Now they're getting single file. Jacob Kaplan still out there on the fuel. Lap 184. Matty Clark goes way wide. Johnny Taylor going to be able to take that spot. Now they got to catch Daniel Molnix. Can they do it? Looks like the 3 is able to pull away from the 31 and the 43. Now the 8 to the inside of the 44. Move the 8 back to the lead lap. 44 is going to check up a little bit early. Doesn't want to be overdriving the car. 44. Still your race leader, leading a bunch of these laps. That gap now 2.6 seconds to Stoney Benfield for P number 2. When they do pit, it's going to cycle out to where Johnny Taylor, or Daniel Molnix, Johnny Taylor, and Matty Clark will be the race leaders. Shane Wilden will have to pit. So 35s for P1 and P2. Daniel Molnix and co. So Johnny Taylor and Matty Clark are going to be running 33s. So a 2-second, 34. 34.8, 34.9, and 34.8. So a whole second difference for the race leader to 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Stoney Benfield in this time. So Stoney Benfield, he's going to be the first one to go down pit lane on lap 188. Jacob Kaplan going to run this thing dry. Going to see what that number 44 has up his sleeve. He may be waiting for the long game to see if there is a caution. $189. Can Jacob Kaplan make it 10 more laps? If Jacob Kaplan can make it 10 more laps, it would be absolutely amazing to see. He'll have the freshest tires out on the racetrack, and he's still got a 15-second gap to second place. Now, that 15 seconds is going to be gone by the time he gets into pit lane. But with how quick that number 44 is, I believe he'll be able to get up there to the race lead and take it back over. Jacob Kaplan into pit lane. He's going to give Daniel Molnix the race lead. He is 1.5 seconds out in front of Johnny Taylor. Jacob Kaplan made it all the way to lap 190. Add 40 laps, well, 46, and you'll get 230-ish. Somewhere right in there. So either way, Jacob Kaplan still has to pit one last time. So actually, we're actually going to bring up the pit stop lap. And just, let me fix this. Stint length. There we go. We'll do the stint length here. Looks like Kaplan went 54 laps. So Kaplan can make it completely. Kaplan can definitely make it 54 laps. So he doesn't have to pit anymore. Kaplan's already out. Kaplan didn't even go a lap down. So Kaplan's going to have the freshest tires of the race. Benfield went 51. Kaplan went 54. And there is a yellow flag. This will change everything. We're going to go ahead and go back to a CRN replay really quick. Brian Wiggins into turn O. Oh, noses into the wall. Not sure what was going on with the number 5. We're going to go ahead and watch it from the onboard here. Oh yeah, just getting it low down, and you can see he's already fighting the wheel, trying to get it to calm down. And now everybody is back in here. Jacob Kaplan didn't go a lap down. But is going to be probably P number 2, depending on if he pits or not. You see everybody down a pit lane. The 43 staying out. 45 staying out as well. Same with the 5. .44 of Kaplan's going to stay out, so he's going to inherit the race lead. Want to talk about a move there. Is Jacob Kaplan is going to inherit the race lead off that caution here tonight. So it's going to be Jacob Kaplan, Daniel Molnix, Johnny Taylor. Your top three. Fourth will be Matty Clark, and rounding out your top five will be Mark Sikochi. Sixth will be Adam Lang. Seventh will be Stoney Benfield. Johnny Taylor going to go down pit lane one more time. No, he's not. Never mind. I lied. Dominic Bettini. Will be P number 8. Shane Wielden, P number 9. Brandon Bass is going to round out your top 10. Those are all your guys on the lead lap. Everybody else, 3 laps down, or has packed it up and went back to, or has packed it up and went on to the next race. That's going to be at Bristol next week. 500 laps at Thunder Valley. That's going to be a hoot. 500 laps at Bristol should be over pretty quickly. So far, 2 hours into this race, and everybody pretty much out here doing what they can do. 11 cars on track. Jacob Kaplan gonna be your race leader. Barney, he's now awake. Got the green flag in his hand. Jacob Kaplan going to lead these gentlemen back to the green flag, and we are back to racing Johnny Taylor. Already looking down to the inside. Jacob Kaplan going to move all the way up to the top. Johnny Taylor down to the inside of Daniel Molnix. Daniel Molnix going to hold strong on that outside. Johnny Taylor going to be with the run on the inside. Look at that power move by Johnny Taylor to get to the door of Daniel Molnix, but it's not going to be enough. Daniel Molnix with a hell of a run down the backstretch, down to the inside. Jacob Kaplan going to let him take the run. Johnny Taylor down to the inside. Jacob Kaplan, he's stuck on that outside. Going to let Johnny Taylor go on by side by side. The 49 gets spun back in the back. That's going to bring out another caution here tonight. As I caught that right in the corner of my eye. Going to go ahead and go back to a quick CRN replay. Just got up a little bit too high coming up off the corner. And you see it there. He's going to slide all the way around right in front of Mark Sikochi. Sikochi, we got to watch it from Sikochi's angle here, just to see what he saw going through that corner as he had the number 49 get loose in front of him. So here we go, real time. You'll see him. Stayed in the gas, got on the brakes, got back in the gas, and everything was absolutely phenomenal. Johnny Taylor in the pit lane. So he's going to get that car serviced some more. He's still got a little bit of right side damage on that number 3 machine. Jacob Kaplan made his bed. He's going to stay on out. I think right now, if I was Jacob Kaplan, I think I would have went down to pit lane, took some more fuel just to make sure, and took an extra set of tires there. But he's down there doing that while I'm up here, so it makes a difference. Jacob Kaplan is going to be P number 2. That's going to open up the door for Matty Clark. We've seen how the outside does not get the greatest restarts out here. Is Johnny Taylor still in the pit lane? So I believe he's getting ready to... yeah, he's exiting now. So he's getting as much of that damage fixed as he possibly could. Daniel Molnick's down on the inside. Jacob Kaplan on the out. Barney's got the green flag in his hand. Through turn 3 and 4. It's going to be Daniel Molnick's on the pole. Jacob Kaplan in second. Coming to the Geico restart zone. Here we go for the next final time. Hopefully we're back to green flag racing. Down to the turn number 1 and 2. Jacob Kaplan not getting a good restart there. Matty Clark moving his way up to P number 2. But look at this. Johnny Taylor trying to force it 3 wide here. Onto the field as he's trying to make his way back up here to the front. As we have a lot of... oh, man. That should be a caution there, as that was wicked. Wow. We're going to have to go back here, see what happened. As we're going to watch it from the 25's perspective, see what happened. Jacob Kaplan. Oh, Jacob Kaplan got hard on the brakes early. It's going to send the 25 up towards the track. He's going to be loose going in. He's going to get off the track. Watch this from Mark Sakoci's view. He's going to get in the rear end of Johnny Taylor. Lift him up just a little bit. Shane Wheeldon lifts. Oh, look at the undercarriage of that number 8 machine. Johnny Taylor locks him down, goes down into the grass. Brian Wiggins making his way all the way in and through. Johnny Taylor spinning it on all the way around. And that's going to bring out another caution here tonight. Johnny Taylor going down in there, servicing that car. Flat spotted. Those tires. As he's going to start towards the back and try to work his way back up through the field. Daniel Molnix and Matty Clark on the front row. Daniel Molnix was able to get the lead away from Johnny Taylor. And has not looked back. Daniel Molnix has been on a rampage here tonight, trying to capitalize on this track position to get his first win of the season. Matty Clark trying to do the same thing in that number 31 to get his first win. Or his second win, excuse me. Jacob Kaplan looking for his first win. Stoney Bedfield doing the same thing. Adam Lang, new guy on the block. Try to do the same thing up here. Dominic Bettini, part-timer out here trying to get a race win here. I want to say thanks to all the 16 viewers out there watching this race come to a close here tonight. Barney has the flag in his hand. Pace car diving down to the inside to go into pit lane. Daniel Molnix and Matty Clark are on the front row. Daniel Molnix gets a great restart on that inside. He's going to pull away from Matty Clark. I'm going to watch on the back here with Adam and Johnny Taylor to see what Johnny Taylor in the 25 can do. The 25 is going to go down underneath the 75. Johnny Taylor may put these guys 3 wide. No. Johnny Taylor trying to do what he can to get back up there to the front. Going to lift a little bit early, but it's going to be Daniel Molnix holding off the late charge from the 31 of Matty D. Clark. Matty Clark right on the back bumper of the two. See it right here. Matty Clark closing in ever so slightly. Gets a great run coming off the corner as he's trying to do anything he possibly can to get around. And look at that, Daniel Molnix all the way up to the wall. Missed his braking point there. Now we have a new race leader. The 31 the 31 of Matty Clark to the point. Daniel Molnix missed the corner entry there. Drifted way high. And that opened up the door for Matty Clark. as now they have a clean air. Adam Lang on the outside of Stony Benfield trying to make a pass on that outside work. Side by side off turn number 4. Johnny Taylor sitting frantically right behind him. Started on pole. Wants to get back up there to win another race here in the National Sim Racing League. Going to wrap that outside, side by side, the 25-75. No room to have an error. Johnny dives it down to the inside of the 75. Johnny Taylor going to dive it into turn number 3. Johnny Taylor's going to take that position away. Possibly look for a 2-for-1. Hits too much of the rumble strips. Going to get loose. He's going to be able to get clear of that number 75. So move Johnny Taylor up to P number 5. .25 down to the inside of Jacob Kaplan to take away that P number 3 spot. Jacob Kaplan having the run on the outside. Johnny Taylor's going to follow. Johnny Taylor up to P number 4. Who's going to dive it in and who's going to lift early? Looks like they're not going to lift early, but maybe a 3-wide situation. No. Johnny Taylor's going to be the big loser out of that one. 3-wide coming to the front stretch. No, 2-wide. As the 25 and the 3 both able to get around the number 44 like clockwork. 75 right behind the number 44. Just a gangle of cars back here. The 3 try to get around the 25. 25's not going to give an inch there. He gets loose coming up off the corner. This is for the final podium spot here tonight. You got an RCR car up at the front with Matty D. Clark. Then you have, I believe, Roush. Or Penske. I believe it's Penske. In the number 2 machine of Daniel Molnix. Down to the inside goes Johnny Taylor. Johnny Taylor running faster lap times than 3rd position, but not able to get around Adam Lang. Finally settling down back here. Johnny Taylor all over that back bumper. Single file throughout the pack. Top 2 have pulled away from the back 5 as they are trying to get any track position that they can with almost 20 laps to go. So 25 laps to go here tonight. Jacob Kaplan now under fire from the number 75 and the 8 of Mark Sikochi. The 2 trying to capitalize, get that lead back, and look for that first win on the season still. But it is Matty Clark with the race lead here with 22 laps to go. Daniel Molnix, 0.2 of a second away from Mr. Matty Clark. Does the bumper get thrown on that final lap if Daniel Molnix can get to the back bumper of Matty Clark? Or is Daniel Molnix hard to the wall. Comes up off the corner. Not sure what's going on with that number 2 machine, but he got a little bit loose. Oh, man. Daniel Molnix had the race win go up in smoke. And that's going to open up the door for Matty Clark and Johnny Taylor, Adam Lang, all P1 to P3. Biggest battle on track is going to be between these two right here, the 25 and the 3. The 3 looking at the long game here, doesn't want to do something that could take him out of that top 3 position. Matty Clark so far is trying to pull away. Just a 2-second gap separates first to second. And then a .06 second gap as Johnny Taylor down to the inside, going to dive it into turn 3. Going to move the 25 up the racetrack. The 3 is going to have the preferred line into turn 3 out of turn 4. 25 gets a little bit loose. Johnny's going to squeeze him up by the wall. Give P2 to Johnny Taylor. Johnny Taylor's going to slide on up. They're going to door check each other. Johnny Taylor's going to take over P number 2 as they're both going to get loose coming out of the corner. Roles are reversed here. What does Johnny Taylor do? Can he stay in front of that 25? He's been bad fast all night long. Johnny Taylor overdrove the corner. Same with the number 25, but the 25 able to regather it quicker than Johnny Taylor could. But still, it's going to be Johnny Taylor in P number 2. Going to see if he can track down his teammate of Matty Clark. Right behind them, though, a 3-wide, almost 3-wide situation between the 44, the 75, and the 8 here, as we have another 3-car battle between these 3 drivers. Stoney Benfield, the 44, looks like the 2 of Danny Woldix gets into the wall coming off turn number 2. Going to let Dominic Bettini go on around. Stoney Benfield has since then fallen off of that rear bumper of the 44, but Mark Sikochi diving it down to the inside of Stoney, looking for that top 5 position here for the number 8 of Mark Sikochi. Mark Sikochi still doing battle here, trying to get to the inside of Stoney. He's going to be there. Stoney going to let Mark Sikochi on by. Mark Sikochi up to P number 5. Jacob Kaplan pulling away ever so slightly. Now he's getting ready to come up on the back bumper of the 25 of Adam Lang. Coming to 10 laps to go here at Gateway. That gap to the race lead has went from a 2.5 second gap to a 1.4 second gap between Johnny Taylor and Matty Clark. Jacob Kaplan, slowly but surely closing in that gap between third and fourth place. Now down to the inside. Jacob Kaplan able to get that pass done on the 25 after his wall slap there. Now the 8 looking to the inside of the 25. That gap for the race lead is now down to 1.2 seconds. 10 laps to go here at Gateway to round out the first portion of this season. Johnny Taylor lost a little bit of time, lost 0.2 of a second there. That gap now up to 1.6 and opening up even more. Johnny Taylor can't get it down to the inside. Now that gap up to 2 seconds. Jacob Kaplan starting to capitalize on Johnny Taylor's mistakes here. Kaplan holding on to that P3 as of right now. Jacob Kaplan kind of pulling away from Mark Sikochi. Got him by a second, or 0.9, 0.8 of a second, and closing. As this is where Jacob Kaplan's car starts to come in as the longer the run goes on, the more better Kaplan's car comes in. Jacob Kaplan. Johnny Taylor had a little bit of misfortune there coming off turn number 2. Can Kaplan capitalize and get up to P number 2? He's got 7 laps to do it. Coming to 6 to go. Can he make up that 1.3 second gap, or 1.2 second gap, excuse me, to Johnny Taylor? Jacob Kaplan trying to do what he can to catch the leaders. Not going to be able to be there, but he's got a strong Mark Sikochi on his rear bumper. Trying to play spoiler. Looking at it now. Mark Sikochi has closed in that gap, is now down to 0.5 of a second. This will be the biggest battle that we have on track here so far. Everybody else sort of spread out. Daniel Mulnix is in P8, right in front of the 45 of Patrick Gentner, and the 8 gets a little bit loose coming off turn number 2. That's going to help the number 44 here get around this track. Matty Clark, 4 laps away from victory here tonight. Mark Sikochi is going to overdrive the corner, not going to be able to get back to the power. Jacob Kaplan's going to have a greater corner than him, but look at that recovery drive by the number 8. Going to drop it by under 0.5 of a second, but Jacob Kaplan able to hold him off. He's now closed that gap to Johnny Taylor by a 10th. There's the gap between him and Johnny Taylor, that blue car right in front of the 44. As he is slowly starting to close in on that number 3 machine. Dives it in deep in that corner, all the way up the racetrack. Mark Sikochi's going to have a good run here. Looking at the gearbox, look how close that gap is now between the 3rd and 4th place. Mark Sikochi knows what he has to do. He's going to drive it a little bit harder and harder each lap. And look at the gap getting closed here by Mark Sikochi. This is a little bit better than the race win, as 2 laps to go here at the Gateway. Jacob Kaplan, recovery drive, up 10 positions from where he has started. So the biggest mover of the race. Hard charger goes to Jacob Kaplan, up 10 spots. Started P13, and he's all the way up to P number 3, looking to make it P number 2. I don't think he's got enough time to get to Johnny Taylor, but right now he's got to be a little bit more worried about keeping that number 8 machine behind him. White flag this time by for the leaders. It is a RCR 1-2, and then you got a Petty Enterprise number 44 in 3rd, with a DEI number 8 in 4th. Coming off, going into turn number 3, I'm going to focus on here. See what Mark Sikochi can do. One final push, not going to be able to get there, but coming off turn number 3 and 4, it's going to be Matty Clark getting his 2nd win of the season here at Gateway. 2nd will be Johnny Taylor. Oh, coming across the line, spinning 3rd will be Jacob Kaplan. 4th will be Mark Sikochi. 5th, Stoney Benfield. 6th, Adam Lang. Dominic Bettini, recovery drive, P number 7. Daniel Monix finishing at P number 8. Brandon Bass in 9th. And running out your top 10 will be Shane Wilden. We're going to go ahead and bring up these results for everybody on the stream for you guys out there watching currently. As we have Matty Clark getting the race win here tonight. P number 2 will be Johnny Taylor. 3rd will be Jacob Kaplan. 4th, Mark Sikochi. 5th, Stoney Benfield. 6th, Adam Lang. 7th, Dominic Bettini. 8th, Daniel Molnix. 9th, Brandon Bass. 10th, this is going to be Shane Wilden Sr. 11th will be Patrick Gentner. 12th, Brian Wiggins. 13th, James Marcotti. 14th, Robert Lawrence. 15th, Austin Rhodes. 16th is going to be Lucas Nilgis. 17th will be John Thompson. And rounding out your 18th will be Justin Cope, and 19th will be Andy Reeves. Going to go ahead and hide this out really quick. Get your top 3 in the broadcast booth. Rewind this just a little bit. Let these guys get some laps in here. We're going to go ahead and pull in our top 3 here. Find Mr. Jacob Kaplan, and we are now joined by the number 44, Jacob Kaplan. Jacob, this is Dylan in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I got you, loud and clear.
All right, buddy. First off, an absolute recovery drive. Started P13 or P14 and finished P3 here tonight. You had a long run car, it seemed like, and you had the field covered on that really long green flag stop. I figured you were going to go till about lap 200 to make it all the way through, and then I checked your pit cycle, and you went 54 laps on fuel. So you had the field covered in that sense, but that late race, those couple late race cautions kind of threw it all away.
Yeah, that last caution was unfortunate because I think I had a winning strategy by staying out there. I have to thank my teammate Patrick for that, the 45 car. He's the one that actually told me about the fuel strategy there, so I give him the credit. But you know what? I can't complain about a P3.
Yeah, you definitely can't complain about that P3, as you had a couple people out here in chat. Alicia Kaplan saying, "Go, Jacob, you got this." And then Barry Kistler, one of the CRN top commenters, was voting for you as you had the best looking ride out here tonight. So, you had the car there. Just cautions didn't fall your way, but nonetheless, you finished P3, and now you're on to Bristol next week. How's that going to be for you going to that half-mile track?
Oh, Bristol's my favorite track on iRacing, so I plan on at least competing for a top 3 again and possibly a win.
Well, with that being said, what's going to be the make or break for you to kind of get in between this RCR and other combo that has just shown every week that they have the speed to contend at almost every track so far?
Practice. I need to run some practice laps because today, believe it or not, lap 1 of the race was my first laps ever run at this track, so that's why I was struggling in the beginning. So I'll be putting in the work this week to compete at Bristol because I know that's the only way I can even have a shot at beating them.
All right, Jacob, before we let you get on out of here, is there anybody on that number 44 machine you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, first is my friend Alex Encarnacio. I know he wasn't in the race tonight, but he's the one that gave me my setup, and it was a long run setup, and it was amazing. So I want to thank Alex and TopSplitSetups.com. I want to thank my teammates Patrick and Shane because they keep me calm during the race because I get really frustrated during this 3 hours, so they keep me calm. And I would also like to thank you guys for doing this broadcast. You do a great job and keep it up. I'd like to thank my fans, my wife who watches this broadcast, and my mom and dad, and I think you said his name was Barry. I'd like to thank him too because, I feel like I gained a fan. So yeah. I'd like to thank him as well.
Oh, yeah. Barry is one of those guys that votes for anybody and everybody. He's just one of those guys that he doesn't have just one favorite. Everybody that runs really good is always going to be his favorite.
I like it. And I also want to give a shout out to the 3 and 31. Congrats on P1 and 2, boys.
All right, buddy. We're going to go ahead and let you take care of that P3 finish here tonight. Celebrate with your team, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again next week at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Yeah, I hope so too. Thanks again.
Yep. All right, that's going to be our third place finisher of the number 44. We're going to go ahead and move on up to the number 3. That's going to be Johnny Taylor. Johnny, this is Dylan in the CRN broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I gotcha.
All right, Johnny, you started on the pole. You led the majority of the race. You had the track position when it counted. But it seemed like once Daniel Molnix beat you off a pit road, you had to play a little bit of catch-up. You had all the clean air the whole race, and now you got to deal with a little bit of dirty air. And towards the end of the race, we started seeing you get a little bit sloppy with your driving, I guess you could say. Slapping the walls, hitting everything but the pace car. What more did you need to catch Maddie Clark on that final run?
We just needed a little more track position. I got hung up racing the other cars, racing some of the competition, just got hung up. The 2 was real fast. He was the car to beat all race. I think he got a little free off of 4, I think it was, and just tagged the wall. Overall, it was a pretty good race.
Yeah, it actually was a pretty good race. This track symbolizes a little bit of Darlington just backwards. Kind of like how Kentucky is like Texas, just backwards. It's the same exact shape. It looks like Darlington, but it isn't Darlington. You had it figured out. Downshifting in 1 and 2, keeping it in 4th and 3 and 4. And that just goes to show you could have a really good setup, a really good car, but if you don't have the consistency to keep the car on the track and off the walls or eating ice cream or Oreos in your case, it could spell disaster for you. But you were able to recover, come back in, finish P2 after qualifying on the pole, and now we're going to Bristol. Half mile. What's going to be your goal for Bristol next week?
We'll work on the setup and just go find out next week.
All right, Johnny, before we let you get on out of here, is there anybody on that number 3 machine you'd like to give a shout out to?
I'll give a shout out to EPI and the boys, all the work they do over there.
All right, Johnny, we're going to go ahead and let you get on out of here. Celebrate that second place victory here to your teammate. And we'll be hopefully talking to you again on next Saturday at Bristol.
Sounds good, buddy. Have a good one.
You as well. All right, that's going to be our second place finisher of Johnny Taylor. Now we're going to go ahead and move on up to our race winner. That's going to be the number 31 of Matty Clark. And Matty, this is Dylan in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy, Dylan.
All right, buddy. You're at the front. You're at the back. You're at the front. You're at the back. Kind of like a couple of weeks ago at Vegas or even Myrtle Beach. You had a couple of incidents where you got a little bit loose coming off the corners, tagged the wall on the inside. You got into, I believe it was the 25 later in the race where you got a little bit tight and loose coming off turn number 2, but you bounced back, you battled back all the way through the late race carnage and the cars on the track. What was going through your mind after you had those couple of late race spins and that late race caution with the number 25?
Well, thought for sure that we weren't going to end up back out front. Coming through the field, some of the guys there, they're a tough pass. Just glad to be where we are right now.
Yeah, you pretty much nailed it right on the head. You had a little bit of lap traffic, but you also had other cars that were equivalent to a little bit quicker. As Johnny Taylor said, the 2 was the car to beat all night here tonight. Had a little bit of mishap coming off turn 2, smacked the wall down while eating ice cream, I would say. But, you did what you had to do to get that lead, and you had the track pretty much figured out. You knew where to lift, where to brake, where to shift, and you just knew the line you had to take. You were able to pass Johnny Taylor. You were able to pass Daniel Molnix, pull away with the race win here tonight, and that's win number 2. So you got one at a 1.5 miles, and you got one at an egg-shaped Darlington-style track. So now all you need is a short track, a plate track, and a road course, and I think you got them all pretty much covered.
Yeah, we're going to get there. Daniel definitely had the car to beat. It's a little upsetting for him to pound the wall the way he did. I know he was trying to run me back down after his mistake in the 3. I've got 2, Johnny's got 3, so we're going to look to put win number 6 together next week at Bristol.
Yeah, you're talking about win number 6 at Bristol. What is going to be the mindset for the RCR camp, or even possibly you, going into Bristol? As you know, Bristol's more of a blind track. Track position is going to be key, and you want to stay out as much of the carnage as you can. So what's going to happen with that number 31 machine next week?
Well, we're going to play the survival game next week.
I guess we're going to have to get some survival music going along with this broadcast next week.
Yeah, it's going to be Bristol's a self-clearing track, so we're going to have cars high, cars low. We're going to take it easy and survive 500 laps there.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be something different to watch, and I'm ready for it. I love Bristol. Thankfully, I'm up in the broadcast booth and not down there having my anger issues come out during the race. But Matty, before we let you get on out of here, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to on that number 31 machine?
We're gonna give a shout out to team leader here, Johnny. Put together something pretty great. I know we've been working on the set all week, and we fell a little bit short here over the pace, but we got it done in the end.
All right, buddy. Well, we're going to go ahead and let you celebrate with the team here tonight on that first place victory, and hopefully we get to talk to you again next week at Bristol.
Yeah. Well, see you next week.
All right, buddy. Take care.
All right, you too.
All right, that's going to do it for the post-race interviews here tonight. As we're going to go ahead and run down what we have in store for CRN. Tomorrow night, Sunday, we have the Core Premier Series as they get ready to tackle the next race on their playoff list, and that's going to be the SRFs at Darlington with the sunset. 75 laps, 50% fuel. That's going to be something fun to watch here tonight or tomorrow night on CRN. Monday night, you got the Core GT Series as they are going to be at Fuji, no chicane. Sunrise, a 45-minute endurance race. You're going to see Carl and I believe Terry Jansen in the broadcast booth for that. Tuesday night, you're going to have myself down in the car for the ARCA in the Truck Series as they get ready to tackle Richmond. ARCA's going to do 80 laps. Trucks will do, I believe, 100 laps or 85 laps. No, 105 laps at Richmond. That's going to be brought to you by John Nobinger and Ricky Gonzalez. Wednesday, you're going to have myself back up in the broadcast booth Tuesday. You're going to have UCRL as they're back next week for their Top Gun Cup Series 87 League. Well, that's going to be something fun to watch here as Carl and Jimmy will bring you the highlights from that on CRN. Wednesday night, we have championship night for the SSLMS, the Shane Super Late Model Showdown, as they are going to Five Flags next week, or this Wednesday, May 17th, sunset, 125 laps, 3 tire sets, all in total. No broadcast on Thursday night, but then Friday we have Redline Racing with Carl Hedwerk and the man, the myth, the legend, Mark Thomas in the broadcast as they go to Dover in the Gen 4s for 100 laps on Friday night. Then we're back here Saturday night with the NSR at Bristol Motor Speedway. Want to give a big shout out to everybody out there watching, subscribing, hitting the like button, turning on all bell notifications on the stream. Want to thank you all very much for that. In 2 weeks' time, May 25th, CRN is hosting a CRN Coke 300. It's going to be the 87s at Charlotte, 200 laps, fixed setups, 50% fuel, 2 fast repairs, 5 sets of tires. $5 is the entry. It's going to be the Legacy Charlotte, so it's definitely going to be fun out there to watch. Make sure you guys tune into that one, as I believe Carl Hedwerk and Jimmy Covert are going to have the action in on that one. Tune into that on May 25th. It's going to be on a Thursday. But that's going to do it for me, myself, up in the booth. My name is Dylan, and thanks for watching on CRN. Make sure you guys take care. Brush your hair.